Hey, and welcome to Grey and Crochet. That rhymed, totally intentional. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mads and it's so lovely to see you and have you as part of my community. If you're returning, welcome back and it's so lovely to see your face again. I will be doing the crochet creator tag that was put out by Rachel over at the Faded Wildflower Crochet a couple months ago now. So I feel like a few people have already done this tag, but if you have not and you are a creator on YouTube and you put up videos and things like that, consider yourself tagged by me. I will leave the questions in the description box below, as well as a tag to Rachel's channel, so you can go check that out and check out her video. She is fabulous. But if you don't put out YouTube videos and would still like to do this tag, consider yourself tagged too, and just pop your answers in the comment section below. All the questions will be in there in the description box. There are 10 questions, and I just thought it would be a fun way for you guys to get to know me and me to get to know myself a little bit, because I've had to do some thinking with some of these questions. But yeah, let's get started, shall we? So the very first question is, how did you learn to crochet? Now, I am obsessed with dogs, which is totally relevant to why I learned how to crochet. I absolutely love dogs. I would have a million of them if I had the space, time, and could afford them, but sadly I do not, so I have just the one. But I was totally in love with dogs. That was my whole personality, and I just wanted to make things for dogs. And I just never knew how. But I did have a co-worker that knew how to crochet, and she would make little amigurumi toys and give it to people around the office, and I just thought it was so incredibly cute. And a few of us did show interest and wanted to learn, so she actually threw a crochet class after work. So, you know, a couple times a week we would stay back after work, go into a little meeting room. She put on a YouTube video of how to crochet and come around and help us. Let's just say I didn't really learn anything from that class, and that has nothing to do with her. I was just terrible. I did not pick it up at all. I probably went to those classes for over a period of a month. Learned nothing. Everyone else learned how to crochet, and this girl was just like, what? She was like the cat meme that's like, huh? But I was still determined, so I went home one weekend and I just put on a YouTube video of how to make a bubble, like a little Christmas bubble, because I was like, that will teach me how to do a magic circle, to do a single crochet, which would help me learn how to make amigurumi. It will show me how to do increases and decreases and all of that. So it is something that will just hopefully help me learn how to crochet. So I put the video on 0.5 speed and made a tiny little bubble. It took me 8 hours, guys. I literally was watching how she was moving her hands in the video and trying to figure it out. That co-worker of mine was so nice, and she just gave me a crochet hook to borrow and a yarn, like skein of yarn that she said I could just have and use to practice. And that's what I did. So I didn't even have to invest in the tools in case I didn't get it, because I really thought I wouldn't get it based on how those crochet classes went, but I did. After I made that little bubble, I sort of got the hang of it, but my hand movements were still terrible. My mother-in-law knows how to knit and crochet, and she sort of said that it was kind of like I was knitting and crocheting at the same time, like the way that I was moving my hands to yarn over. I would actually like push the hook through the stitch with this hand, literally like take the yarn over, pull it through, then with this hand again put the yarn over. It was so weird, guys. I don't know what I was doing, but I just couldn't figure it out until she showed me, and then I was able to do the whole hand thing, which I feel like is the trickiest part of crochet. Figuring out how to hold a piece, hold the yarn, hold your hook is the trickiest part of crochet in my opinion. But yeah, once I figured that out, it was smooth sailing from there. But that is pretty much how I learned how to crochet. It took me probably like 4 or 5 months to actually get the hang of it properly. And I'm still a very slow crocheter. Whenever I see videos of people like talking to a camera and crocheting at the same time, I just think, how? Because I need to look at my stitches to make sure I'm doing it correctly. But that is a superpower I don't think I will ever have. It's been a few years now, so I've just got to give up on that dream. Yeah. But that is how I learned how to crochet. So what is your favorite thing to crochet is the second question. And this one is actually a tough one. So I love amigurumi. Majority of the things that I've made is amigurumi, which if you're not sure what that is, it is little creatures. I've got an example here to show you. This was one of the very first amigurumis I've made from a pattern book. This is a Pico-Pow pattern, if some of you recognize it. So incredibly cute. First one from pattern book. It was a difficult pattern and I made the toes super wonky, but that's okay. This one has toes on backwards, but oh well. It's all part of the learning process, isn't it? So yeah, little creatures like this, that is amigurumi, and that is what I learned to crochet. Basically, I made a bobble and then I found free patterns online and then I made that and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with creating these cute little monsters and I still love it. However, I did learn to crochet because I wanted to make things for dogs. So I would say my favorite thing to crochet is little dog snoots. They're like little costumes. I'll put a couple pictures up here for you so you can figure it out. But I basically freehand them and then I donate them to a local dog rescue called Gumtree Greys. They are the rescue that I got my greyhound socks from. They then sell them and all of the money made from those sales go back into the rescue to pay for things like food and medical bills of their foster dogs and things like that. So I love that I'm able to give back, and that is one of my favorite things to make. I freehand them. The base snood pattern is fairly the same for all of the snoods, and I just like to use this little brain of mine to come up with new ideas and make fun little costumes for them. It is a bit of silliness and adorableness, if that's a word, but it also does serve a purpose. Sighthounds are like quite low on the body fat side of things, so they tend to be quite cold in the colder climates. So you'll see a lot of sighthounds wearing jumpers, clothes and boots and things like that. These snoods will help to keep their necks and their ears warm as well, which those things like coats might not cover. So it does serve a purpose, but also very cute. And I just love making them. They're so quick, well, quick compared to amigurumi. I feel like amigurumi takes me forever, but they are so quick and I get to use my imagination and, you know, just looking at a yarn color, I might get a new idea. I just love making dog snoods, so that is my favorite thing to crochet. Question number 3 is, if you could only use one yarn for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, I kind of want to cheat and say millets, which it's definitely cheating. It is basically a bag of mystery yarn that we can find at our local yarn store called Spotlight. It's a craft store. They sell yarn. That's the only thing I go in there for, and stuffing. But it's mystery yarn, so you could get a variety of different yarn using millets, and I do love the surprise of it because you never really know what it's going to be like. You can see what it looks like, but until you actually like take it out, crochet with it, you don't know what the texture is going to be like or anything like that. So I do love that challenge. But if I had to pick a yarn brand, I would say Marvel acrylic yarn from Spotlight. This is what it looks like. 4 Seasons Marvel yarn. It is a DK weight yarn that comes in this 100-gram skein. This yarn has a range of colors, which is excellent for when you want to make things like amigurumi and dog snoods, which is primarily what I crochet. I feel like this yarn crochets up quite well as well. I don't think it sheds too much, or like, you know how yarn sometimes can get fuzzy after you crochet with them. This one tends to look quite neat compared to some of the other acrylic yarns that I've used, and DK weight is my preferred, you know, yarn choice, and color variety and everything. The price is not too expensive as well, especially when it's on sale. So I would say if I only had one yarn to choose from, I would probably pick the Marvel yarn, and then I can crochet a bunch of different things that I love. So win-win. But yeah, secretly millets, if that's a cheating answer. Number 4 is weirdest thing you've ever made. Now, it's actually sitting behind me. This weird thing right here, which ends here, was actually the first ever blanket I made. It is a mosaic crochet blanket, and being mosaic crochet, which if you haven't done it before, it's basically you alternate rows in different colors and you do like double crochets, like crocheting into the previous row, if that makes sense, and things like that. Like, it's weird, but basically you create this color from alternating rows of different colors, and at the end of each row you've got to snip off your yarn and tie it in and create a bit of a border, which is what this gray thing is here, if you guys can see it. So all around the border there's like a gray envelope, which basically hides all of my yarn tails. And because of all the yarn tails, I decided to do it a lengthways. So it is very, very long, which I'm actually going to pull it out and I'll show you. I'm not going to bother putting it back because I can't bother. But okay, so this is one end of it, and then it keeps going, keeps going until the very end. So it is humongous. Like, this is how much blanket there is, and my thoughts behind it was to basically create like a queen size bed blanket using 2 bags of millets, which was 800 grams, and me being a fairly new crocheter did not know how much yarn could stretch, so this is how tall it ended up being. Like, not very tall at all. So it is not a blanket. It is way too long to be considered a throw. It is just an awkward angle, really, or like a length, awkward length. But I sort of just call it like a tail of my bed. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, just adding it to the end of my queen size bed and make it look like a little bit more colorful or whatever. I don't actually know what that is. It just is a blanket that I've made. So that is my weirdest thing I've ever crocheted. Something you'll never crochet is the next question, and I really had to think about this one because I do like to try things. I want to try and make things at least once, and if I don't like it, I probably won't make it ever again. I'm sort of that way with wearables. Like, every wearable that I have made, I have sort of flopped in, and I just need to take a little bit of a break and then try again, and hopefully it looks better. But I'm not too keen on making wearables. But something that I would never make is technically in that category, and that is swimwear. I've seen a lot of people making cute little bikinis out of crochet, and I just don't think that I would ever wear it. It looks cute on people that do end up wearing it, making it and modeling it and wearing it, but I just wouldn't wear it. So that is something I would never make. It also kind of makes me think that it might look uncomfortable. I don't know, I've never made one, so I can't judge, but I would never make swimwear. No hate to any of you that actually do make it, I couldn't pull it off. So yeah, something that I will never crochet again, or never crochet, is swimwear. The next question, where do you get your inspiration? Now, a lot of the things that I make are from patterns or pattern books, and that is my amigurumi side of things. So I make a lot of amigurumi and basically follow patterns. I very rarely would try and freehand an amigurumi because it just seems more complicated. But when I make dog snoods, I do freehand them, and I do actually get my inspiration from amigurumi books. So I would look at something like this little dragon, and I would think, how could I make a dragon dog snood? Now obviously it would not look like this, but I did try and make a dragon dog snood. I used the dragon stitch, and it sort of looked like a dragon. I put in like a couple horns like this one had here, and then the stitch was kind of like these little spikes. So I was like, yeah, dragon. So I do get a lot of my inspiration from amigurumi books. Like, I've made a fox, I'm pretty sure, from like a Peek-a-Pow, another Peek-a-Pow character. And I also made a fox dog snood. Looks nothing like the amigurumi, but it won't. It's just a dog snood. So yeah, my inspiration comes from things that I'm addicted to, like amigurumi. Very weird answer to that question, but hopefully you guys get it. The next question is my favorite thing you've made so far this year, and that is amigurumi thing, which is this adorable monster. So we are partway through our monsters cal. We are crocheting from the amigurumi monsters book, which is absolutely adorable. I love it. If you guys have not joined in yet, it's not too late. There is still time to make a few of these and join in on the fun. But this by far is my favorite monster. Hopefully you guys can see him in the light. It's so cute. I absolutely love how he turned out. This yarn was the reason I love him so much. I love flecked yarn. I've never used it. But I have been itching to use the flecked yarn. I had this in my stash for a while. It was a bag of millions. I just never knew what to make with it. And then when I saw this monster, which his name is Scaredy Eddie, he is scared of the dark, and he has a little emotional support teddy, I thought to myself, this yarn reminds me of a starry night, and nighttime reminds me of bedtime, and he is scared of the dark, so he has a little teddy bear, so it all fits. It's the perfect yarn to use for him, and I think it is. It's so cute. He has got such a cute little face. He looks so worried and scared, but much better that he has a little teddy there, but so cute. I love him. I don't know if I'd ever part with him. Like, I probably should, because I have no space to store all of my makes, but I don't know if I could. It's so cute. So cute. I don't know if that's just me. Hopefully you guys think he's cute as well. But that is my favorite thing I've made this year. Question number 8 is crochet plans you're excited about for the future. Now, I don't actually know what this is called. It's just escaped my brain, but it is that little robe thing that you wear over swimwear when you're in like the beach or a pool and you're just walking around after a swim. I don't know what it's called. It's like a cover-up thingamajig. It's kind of like holey, like it's got like net kind of stitches. I don't know. That's just the envision I'm having in my head. But I have this cute little variegated cotton yarn that I bought last year that I thought would look really cute as one of those cover-up thingies for the beach and for swimming and things like that. And I just wanted to make it for the longest time, but I just have been a bit intimidated by it because I've never made something that big that's a wearable before. But I do have a few holidays that I am wanting to go on next year. Fingers crossed. And I thought maybe that could be the motivation for me to make one of those, so I could then take it on holiday and wear it. Also, it'll be so heavy because it is cotton, but who knows. Yeah, so I do really want to make one of those, but I just am a bit intimidated, but also extremely excited about the idea of making one of those. So I don't know when I will accomplish that, but hopefully you guys will hold me to it and ask me periodically how that's going, and that might just motivate me to find a pattern and make one. And if you guys have a pattern that you've tried and tested before and you like it and it turned out fabulous, please link it in the comment section below. I would love all the help, and I feel like following a pattern would make me less intimidated by the thought of making something that big, because it's a bit scary. But yes, please help a girl out if you've made it before. But yeah, I am super excited to make one of those, hopefully soon. 9th question is worst thing about crochet. Can I just say sewing? Like, I don't know if that's part of crochet, but for things like amigurumi, you need to sew all the bits together. I hate it. I hate it so much. It takes me probably just as long to sew everything together than it does to crochet, and crochet is the fun part. Stitching things together takes me hours sometimes, and I hate it because I freehand a lot, like wing it, I should say. I don't pin things into place, and sometimes they turn out lopsided and wonky, but it is what it is. But yeah, hate sewing, if that counts as crocheting. Technically it doesn't. It's a part of the crochet process. But if it doesn't count, the thing I hate about crocheting is that I cannot do it forever and ever and ever, because my hands would just fall off. Sometimes after like a couple hours of crocheting, my knuckles would just be like, please stop, please. And I am not even that old yet, so I'm a bit worried about my future in crochet. That my hands are already screaming out in pain. But that would probably be the worst thing. If my hands didn't hurt as much and I could crochet forever and ever, I would absolutely love that. Final question. My favorite thing about crochet, and this is just the ability to be creative, really. Like, I can just look at a yarn like this yarn that I bought at the villains bin and just be inspired to create something amazing. And then I look at this pattern and I could be inspired to create something amazing. Or I could just get an idea in my head and decide that would be a fabulous dog snood, and I just have an outlet to, you know, put all of that creativity into and just get excited about things. And yeah, I love the creative part of crochet, which the entire thing is creative really, but just being able to let your creativity flow out of you, and at the end of it you have something so incredibly cute like this guy. Have I mentioned he's cute? I just absolutely love being able to create something physical from just emotions really. Like I just got excited about things like this, and then my excitement means I crochet non-stop to create things like this, and he's so beautiful. But yeah, that is my favorite part about crocheting, just being able to be creative and just let all of that creative energy flow out of me every day for hours and hours on end. But that is the last question of this crochet creator tag that was kindly created for us by Rachel at the Faded Wildflower Crochet. I hope you guys had fun listening to all of my answers to that. I cannot wait to read yours in the comment section below, or if you decide to make a video, please also let me know in the comments below so I can go check it out. There are so many videos to watch and there's simply not enough time, so that little reminder that you've posted it would be amazing, and I can't wait to watch it. But thank you so much for joining me for this little bit of time on your weekend, your weekday, whatever it may be. If you would like to see some more of me, YouTube thinks you might like this video over here, so I will see you over there. Bye.